Go ahead and join everybody. Hello everybody and welcome to the Chicken Flag NASCAR League for the PlayStation 4 here on NASCAR Heat 3. It's been a while since we have been broadcasting races, so we're back. We're going to try this again. We're here for the JEGS 200 at Dover International Speedway. I am your host, Predator, alongside Weasel and Ryan Guy. Say hello everybody.
What's going on, guys?
Alright, so we're gonna get down to business. Like I said, we've been gone for a very long time. I think the last time we broadcasted was Martinsville, and we're gonna get everything situated and ready to go. Dover is a very difficult track. It's a concrete oval, very high bankings. You don't get any long stretch on the front stretch or the back stretch. Weasel, what goes through a driver's mind coming off of turn 2 and turn 4, going straight for the front stretch or the back stretch, and then having to lay off the gas immediately to go back into another corner?
Well, I think the first thing they're thinking of is trying not to hit that wall because it's the way this track's been. It's called the Munster Mile for a reason. It's very sharp coming off of the exits of the turn, so you really got to watch out for that wall. And you also need to keep in mind that this is banked all the way around. So it's kind of like been called the self-cleaning track before. Whenever there's a wreck, they all just kind of sweep down to the bottom. But they need to keep in mind with the banking and definitely the sharp coming off the corners.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna go Ryan Guy. Ryan Guy, this is your first season, and obviously you've been around in different organizations, and you have raced Dover before. We have seen big wrecks here at Dover. How does somebody, first off, A, avoid the big wreck, and B, make a clean pass without even hitting somebody? Because this is kind of like a giant version of Bristol.
Yeah, the wreck part is the big question mark. You gotta think, with everything being so close together, you would think that if there's a wreck, you really have to back it off and let the track kind of clear out. And then with the passing, you just need to be careful. You can't, because how short the turns are and the straights as well. You gotta be careful, because if you make one wrong move, that could cause almost everything to go wrong at the same time. So
Absolutely.
passing on the bumpers is going to be hard.
Yes, that's for sure. And another thing that to keep in mind, we have a lot of substitute drivers or part-time drivers, preferably from Cup, that are in the Truck Series on a regular basis. We haven't seen a regular season Cup or a regular season truck driver actually win. So all three of us are in the Xfinity Series. We can understand that, but I want to get your guys' opinion heading into this race. What do the truck guys have to do in order to beat the Cup guys?
Well, first of all, I think they definitely need to work together. They need to try to get on the same strategy. And they're just gonna have to, I guess, maybe like use their bumpers a little bit. This is a hard track to pass on, and a lot of that is using your bumper or even giving some room. You're not gonna win on the first or second lap. But yeah, they're gonna have to work together, get on the same strategy, same pit strategy. They need to communicate and do everything they can to try to get past these Cup guys.
What about you, Ryan Guy?
I mean, yeah, what Weasel said is almost right on the button. I mean, with these Cup guys coming down, racing against these truck guys, you got to be on the same strategy, and work together and not race each other hard and just use up all your stuff, because these Cup guys know how to save all their tires, save fuel, and work together at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, one thing is, it's a concrete. We're going to see tire fall off pretty quickly. These trucks don't have a big fuel cell. Last year we had a bigger fuel cell and then with the new aerodynamics and the new model of these trucks, we went to a smaller fuel cell. So a lot of people are going to have to use their tires wisely, and they're going to have to manage their gas wisely. These trucks are probably going to get up to almost 180, 185 going down the front stretch or the back stretch, and one wrong move, one wrong judgment, and a car can slap that outside wall, or even cause the huge wreck that we've been talking about. So, credible notes: Bradley 88 Jr. 1, driver in the number 83. He's been on a hot streak in the Truck Series, winning multiple races, along with JC. JC has won a couple races. We got Mike Man 2442 driving the 51 car. So we got, like I said, we got a lot of Cup guys in here coming down. That's going to play a big influence on these truck guys. But one guy that I want to keep my eye on, one truck regular, is going to be that 51 truck of Sal. Sal has been very aggressive here in the past few weeks, and now I'm thinking, I think possibly Sal's not going to be racing. I think Mike Man is subbing for him, but we'll try to figure that out as we're trying to wrap things up here. Yes, Mike Man is subbing for him, so Sal will not be racing, but I will continue to what I was saying. Sal has been on a very aggressive run in these past few weeks in the Truck Series. So with the Truck Series, however, and I'm going to ask you guys, because again, we get off breaks a lot often, just like the Truck Series. When the Truck Series guys race once or twice a month, they get the urge to hop back into the truck, and when it's race day or race weekend, they're ready to go. Compared to these Cup guys, is that going to influence a lot of dramatic racing, hard-fought racing between the Cup guys and the Truck guys? Because again, the Truck guys haven't been in any truck or any vehicle in the past few weeks. They've had a couple off weeks here. How does a truck guy come and try to compete against a Cup guy that has been racing for the past few weeks or few months without an off season or off break?
Well, I definitely think that makes them hungry. They have not raced since, what was it? Did they race Martinsville? Was it Martinsville their last?
I
No,
believe
they
the last race
Martinsville.
was Martinsville.
Yes.
Martinsville was their last race, so they haven't raced in a couple weeks. And I definitely think that makes them hungry to get back out there in the truck and just put on some good laps and try to get through the field.
Absolutely. Who are you guys going to be watching? I know we haven't broadcasted or haven't really watched a Truck Series race, but who are you guys going to look forward to as we're slowly getting closer to race time?
I'm looking at that 16 truck. He's a rookie. His name is Luka Doncic, Goat 77. I'm going to be looking into him, seeing how he runs his lines, how he passes, and just to seeing what his outcome will be today. It is his first debut. He's driving the 16 truck, so we're watching out for him.
For sure, as we, like I said, we're getting closer. What about you, Ryan Guy? Ryan Guy, obviously an Xfinity guy, driving with the JD Motorsports, the only team, or regular team to win in the Xfinity Series. Who do you have your eyes on?
I'm on Weasel's boat here with the 16. Yeah, like he said, he's a rookie, and it'll be interesting to see what moves he makes, what line he runs, and how he makes his passes that could possibly lead him to maybe his first checker flag in his first ever race, like we saw at Martinsville in the Cup Series. Absolutely.
So a lot of rookie guys coming in. We got like you said, the driver of the 16, and we also got Leaf Racing and the number 87, who is a veteran at this, going to be retiring after first part of June. JC Liv, driver of the number 87, he hopped on to Nepco Racing. Hopped on to Nepco Racing earlier this season. going to be driving for Bradley 88 Jr. He's going to be flying overseas to serve our country, so we want to say thank you, JC, for doing what you're doing, making racing fun again, and hopefully we won't be saying JC's last race was a couple weeks ago at ISM. So we got a lot of veterans, we got a lot of rookies, but we also got guys like Mikey Moolah, who has been on fire in the past few weeks, trying to get everything set up and ready to go for him. It's hard to be a truck driver in this type of age where you have certain amount of races in 1 month. You take off a couple months, you take off a couple weeks, and then you're right back racing of 1 or 2 weeks, and then right back to nothing. Summertime is going to be here in just a blink of an eye, where we're going to be racing nonstop. But here's the thing: we are getting closer and closer to that cutoff line for the truck series, and that's going to be very, very interesting. A win and you're in, basically, to get into the playoffs. It's a lot different compared to the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, or excuse me, the National Series. National Series and the Cup Series, I think they're going to be their cutoff is at Indianapolis, where in August, I believe, that second Bristol race is the last race to get into the playoffs. So, like I said, time is ticking. What do you guys think? What is going through these guys' minds? Are they worrying about it? Are they not worrying about it? Since we don't have any regular truck drivers with a win so far.
Well, if you're the 16 truck of Luca, you really want to think about getting a win here. You know, he's just now getting his first start, so he doesn't have any points on the board yet. So he really wants to either just be consistently in the top 5 until that cutoff, or he needs to get a win if he wants to get in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
As
He
we
needs that
are
win.
getting closer and closer to race time here at Dover International Speedway for the JEGS 200. As it looks like everybody's trying to get their setup in and ready to go. There's the 16 of Luca, who's been on the talks, making his debut in the Checker Flag NASCAR League. Big Will coming down, driver of the number 24 in the Cup Series, driving the 98. 75, Landrod 03 Gaming making his debut. What do you guys think about him? We've seen him in different organizations as well. Do you think he can seal the deal tonight?
I mean, it's a possibility. You can't just rule that out.
Yeah, absolutely. If any Cup guy can pull this off, I think it would be Bradley 88 Jr. He's been running in the Cup Series running in the Truck Series here and there this season. But if anything, you can't rule anybody out at Dover. When a time comes, it's go time. It's ready to go, and I cannot wait to see when we get that last restart, heading into turn 2, what guys are gonna do.
Yeah,
That's
you were
gonna
talking
be-
about Bradley. I've been watching him turn some laps, and right now he looks like he might just be the fastest out there at the moment. But everybody's trying to get their adjustments in still, and they're putting some laps on their tires to warm them up, and we'll just see how that goes.
Absolutely. Like I said, tires fall off pretty darn quickly in the Xfinity or in the Truck Series. Excuse me. I don't know why I want to keep saying Xfinity in the Truck Series. So it will be very, very interesting on how things play out when it comes to having green flag pit stops. Who's gonna pit first? Who's gonna try to make it last? Hope for a caution. Because we got, I think, 100 laps tonight. I might be incorrect, but I believe it's 100 laps. And anything can happen in 100 laps. Along with single car qualifying. We changed that earlier this year. Went from group qualifying to single car qualifying, there where every truck or car gets 2 laps. What are we going to expect from? We'll start with the veterans and then the rookies. What are we going to expect from the veterans and rookies today? Are we going to see them try to stick to the bottom and hold that line, or are we going to try to see towards the middle or high lane, try to work around?
I think we may see a mix of some running the bottom lane because that is kind of the preferred line around here, and then we'll also see some run in the middle a little bit. You can force somebody down there, and you can make a pass on that high line, but I don't know for qualifying if that would be the preferred line to run.
Absolutely. What about you, Ryan Guy? What's your thought and process, especially since tomorrow all three of us are racing? What is your thoughts on single car qualifying at Dover?
Well, I mean, single car qualifying works much better here, especially at Dover, because you can pin someone down for sure, down on that bottom line. So single car qualifying will help these truck drivers, rookies, and people that have been here for a little bit. They will work that bottom line to run it and try to get pole, because Dover here, you need track position. So if you don't have it, you kind of have to make your way through, and Dover's a pretty hard track to pass on.
Some call it the big brother of Bristol Motor Speedway. Everybody sticks to that bottom. So we will see what will happen, how everybody will run. I believe we're gonna have we're gonna be too wide most of the time. Some guys like the 98 and the 54 right now who are on screen, as they're battling back and forth pretty hard, to see who's gonna be running that high line, who's gonna be running that bottom line. As you guys said, the low line's the preferred lane, but during the race, if everybody's on the bottom, you gotta try something. You gotta try that high line, try to make things work, because it's going to be a plate track if everybody's going to be stuck to the bottom, and everybody hates that.
Oh yeah, the inside is definitely preferred, but even me myself, I have found some success running that second line right there. But you gotta kind of pinch them down to the apron. Don't just run them down there, but you can pinch them down there. It'll make them have to let off the gas to keep them sliding up in you, and you can make that move because you'll get the great run coming off on the front stretch and back stretch.
Absolutely. As we are closing the final laps of practice for Dover International Speedway, 68 degrees today, 0 chance of humidity. We got some dark clouds around the area, but like I said, Mother Nature is going to play with us fairly tonight as we're getting closer and closer to race time. As again, we are about to close up practice. We're going to go into single car qualifying. And we will get that underway for you guys. Based off of practice, what I've saw, everybody's going to stick to the bottom. But like I said, and like Weasel said, that 83 truck is going to be fast, along with that 98 truck of Big Will. I think the Cup guys are going to pull another win off tonight. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking. My picks for today are going to be between Bradley and definitely Big Will. They were both showing very good lap times there. Will was battling with the 54 truck there for a while, and he was able to hang in there. But we'll see how it works today.
What about you, Ryan Guy? Are we going to see a Cup guy, or are we going to see finally a truck guy finally get his first win?
I think it's going to be one of the Cup guys. The question is who. And when it comes down, you have to look at who's got the best strategy. And Bradley knows, like you said, Bradley has won a couple races here. And you also have Will down here subbing, and who's in the 98 truck tonight. And then you got the 87 truck who has battled Bradley before, JC, at Vegas. If you flash back to Vegas, they had a great battle for the win there. So maybe a rewind of Vegas could happen.
Possibly. Anything can happen at any time. We talk about Daytona and Talladega having the big wreck, but like we said before, Dover creates one of the biggest wrecks. It's you got nowhere to go. You think you have a hole that opens, and then bam, car nails you out of nowhere. So I think it will be very interesting how late cautions are going to happen, how restarts are going to happen, with the three wide rule being taken out earlier this year, going three wide into turn one. People are going to get aggressive late in the race, and I cannot wait to see what will transpire. If a truck guy is going to be saying, this is my series, you guys are going to come down, you're not going to take another win away from me.
Oh yeah, definitely. But running that three wide on entrance of the corners, I would definitely not suggest that because the exits here are so tight. Like I said earlier, they're so tight and there's just not much room for it. But with the trucks and the cars all together, it's really tight through the center of the corner. And when you're coming up on exit, the rear end just kind of wants to whip out on you. So you really got to be careful of that too.
Yeah,
Right.
that's very agreeable there with what you said, Weasel. As you're coming off the turn, that rear wants to kick out, and going three wide is not the brightest idea because you never know. Maybe that middle guy gets loose or that top guy hits the wall, and then that causes a huge wreck behind everyone.
Absolutely. As we are going to start loading into qualifying here. Single car qualifying is underway. They get 2 laps, they get a warm-up lap, and then 2 green flag laps. So it will be very, very interesting on how that plays out, who's going to ride where. Everybody pretty much agrees that it's going to be at the bottom of the speedway. As we got, looks like the 83 truck of Bradley 88 Jr. making his first lap. Getting very close to that wall.
It's very tight exit, so you got to be very careful with that. But you want to also carry your speed through the corner and on exit. It's where you get your speed at is on the backstretch.
Absolutely, and they used to have that safety barrier off of coming off the corners because they didn't have it on the front stretch or the back stretch. That's a new thing that they just put in, the safety barriers. So I'm very excited that they actually have that ready to go with the safety barriers all around, and trying to figure out who's next. As the 83.
It's gonna be fun watching them adjust to the changes of the track and how it warms up throughout the day. I was talking with JC beforehand, and he was talking about how before they had added these safer barriers to this track, he kind of used it as a guide of when to turn in and when to let off. And now that that's not there anymore, it's going to be a different adjustment for him.
Absolutely. JC driving the 87. It looks like the 98 may have blown an engine early in this race, or in qualifying, excuse me. No one's gone yet.
This is confusing. Besides, the 83 truck was qualified, and
Looks like the 51 truck is sitting on pit road now with a blown engine.
Possibly, as we got the 24. Finally, we get a car that's going out, or a truck, excuse me, that's gone out. That is Lee Racing in the 24. Racing for GMS. stick it to the bottom here.
Ellie, he's a full-time Xfinity driver, so seeing him come in here and turn some laps here for this truck race, it'll be interesting to see how.
Absolutely. To get more information for the truck or the Xfinity, or for the Cup and Xfinity guys, to see what they think heading into this race. What they think. See if anybody else is gone. We also got, looks like the 75 truck of Landrod, as he's turning some laps. Now the question is, are people going to get scared to go up towards that wall in qualifying or even the race? Obviously the race, as people are going to get closer and closer to that wall, are people going to get very antsy and lay off the brake or lay off the gas or even hit the brakes, so therefore they don't avoid the wall? Or what are they going to do?
Well, I was going to say that I definitely think that they will stay off that wall a little bit. But as I was saying, I was watching 75 when he in his warm-up lap. He was running right up there along the wall trying to get his speed coming off of turn 4. And see now that he's moving back down the bottom of the track, he's going to try to get a good exit out of 4. But he's not going to run up against that wall, so it's an interesting tactic.
Absolutely, as he was pretty much in the middle of the track, pretty much all around.
You got to be careful because you definitely don't want to tear up your wall or tear up your car hitting the wall. But yeah, you want to keep your car nice or your truck nice and clean heading into the race. But you also need to get as much speed off the corner as you can, get a good lap time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because with carrying speed off the corner, it gives you faster lap times. But with probably being double wide for a good amount of this race, is going to be hard to try to miss that wall, because you're too wide and someone could try to want to arc off the corner, and that could cause mayhem from that person that hit the wall all the way back.
Oh yeah, I definitely think we're going to see a lot of beating and banging here today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The 54 truck is out making his laps right now. He's taking it down into turn 3 on his second lap.
Yeah, this track is going to be very, very hard to get used to, because you want to ride all the way to the bottom, but you don't want to hit that apron. So a lot of people are going to be, maybe a car and a half, or maybe even half a car length below or above that line. But you just got to carry the right amount of speed, right amount of momentum to carry up towards the wall. But one thing that is going to be very interesting, with the amount of trucks and cars we're going to have on this track throughout the weekend, the restart box is pretty much almost exactly off of the exit of turn 4, maybe a couple yards or 100 yards before the exit of turn 4. So it will be very interesting for guys like who are in the back, who are still in the middle of the corner, trying to get up to speed and get the right jump for these restarts.
Oh yeah, that's right, because if you're not careful, you can definitely spin your tires on this banking, and your car will kind of start off a little sideways, and you'll be having to try to hang on to it on the start already.
Absolutely. As this wraps up qualifying and this wraps up the pre-show, we're going to be right back here in just a few moments with the JEGS 200 here at Dover International Speedway for the Checkered Flag NASCAR League Valvoline Truck Series. So stay tuned as we get everything underway. Thank you for watching the pre-show, and get ready for some action. I know our YouTube fans and social media fans have been missing some great racing, and we're going to start giving it to you. So be ready, grab some popcorn, grab a best friend, grab your wife or girlfriend, whatever, and enjoy some truck racing here at Dover International Speedway, coming up in just a few moments.